Hi, William. I watched your video for our discussion question this week, and would actually like to respectfully disagree with you on your assumption that we could not logistically support. Um, I spent 28 years in the United States Army. Uh, just recently retired as of last year, and I've spent 12 of those years actually working in logistics. My last duty station, I was actually a supply sergeant for a personnel unit. Before that, I was a supply sergeant for a military police unit, and I worked as in logistics with a military police battalion. Um, I was also in Korea uh, during my active duty years back in the early 90s. Uh, when I was there, uh, one of the bases that's fairly close to the DMZ, Camp Humphreys, housed around 25 to 26,000 troops, like you were talking about. Now houses approximately 46,000 troops. When I was there, Korea was a hardship tour. Families were not allowed. Camp Humphreys and every other military base in South Korea now is able to support families uh, being there with the service members. Actually, it has evacuation plans together and contingency plans put together for an evacuation of non-combatants very quickly at the uh, sign of any military emergency. We also have pretty good support capabilities at Incon, uh, very large capabilities at Puton, large enough that they are able to handle a great deal of port traffic on a lot of the military exercises that are conducted between U.S. military forces and the ROK forces. Um, like I said, is actually housing around 46,000 troops there now at its location alone, and it's probably three times the size it was when I was there back in the 90s. Not to mention the fact that we have contingencies of Australian troops there. We have Marines that are in Japan and Okinawa. We have uh, military capabilities in the Philippines. We have military capabilities, as you mentioned, in Guam and Diego Garcia. We keep a sizable Navy fleet off the shore of Korea and around the peninsula at all times. We also have Air Force capabilities there on the peninsula at Osan Air Base. We're able to use bases in northern Australia for our airstrips for air operations. And the South Koreans have actually, over the last 20 or 30 years, bought a substantial amount of our um, Air Force equipment, our armor equipment, tanks, um, armored vehicles, um, weapons, missile defense systems from us. And South Korea, unlike the United States, is constantly prepared for war. Their interstates and highway systems are actually designed in the event of a military emergency to immediately become airstrips and landing strips for Air Force capabilities and military capabilities. And there are several very classified locations in South Korea that hold military capabilities unknown to the eye and the natural horizon. Several military capabilities for the defense of South Korea. Uh, Like I said, the 46,000 that are at Camp Humphreys alone is double the size of the amount of troops that are deployed on the peninsula. There's probably 3 times that amount actually stationed there now. We're probably closer to 70 or 80,000 troops that are constantly stationed on the peninsula. That's not counting the Marines in Okinawa. That's not counting the Air Force capabilities and Navy capabilities at Guam and Diego Garcia. That's not counting the capabilities off the peninsula. That's not counting the Air Force capabilities over in Japan and Okinawa. That's not counting the Air Force capabilities we can use out of Australia and the Philippines, Northern Navy capabilities. That's not counting the Army forces that are now set up to be deployed within the 48 to 72 hour period from a lot of military locations like Bragg, Campbell, and Fort Carson. The Army is now set up itself to be a more mobile, deployable operation now, where most Army units can deploy within 48 to 72 hours to any location in the world and be able to sustain themselves for 72 hours upon arrival. And logistics wise, the logistics capabilities that are set up as supply points are set up in various strategic locations on the peninsula. Seoul, Incheon, Busan, there at Camp Humphreys itself, in the Philippines, at Guam, at Diego Garcia, in Japan. There's several supply points that are logistically and strategically set up to be able to distribute needed supplies at the drop of a hat. They are constantly refitted and constantly set up to be able to distribute those supplies upon command. So I would have to respectfully disagree with you that we would not be able to logistically support the peninsula. We have done so for nearly 70 years, and we've only increased our capabilities within the last few years, and especially under the current administration, we are increasing our capabilities there even further. I would respectfully disagree with your assumption that we could not support the peninsula. I believe we can, as a logistics person that has worked in logistics, how logistics operations work in the modern Army days. Thank you.